All right, dude. I got it all figured out. I was walking around my kitchen, and I had a eureka moment. I'm just pontificating. This might be bullshit, but this is my theory. This is what I keep thinking in my head for like the last 2 days. Is just that like when I go to jujitsu, I regularly engage with different people, and when they engage with me, or if I engage with any person at some building or uh, ritualistic human engagement, or just anything, I have my little game. I have my little system. When I do jujitsu, they're sort of in my system. We're engaging, and I have an incentive to keep them stuck in my system. They should try to research what problem did I encounter and how can I get around that problem next time. And that person that people engage with, I'm not going to be able to say this correctly, but that person that they engage with, they're just kind of doing their game. They're doing their system, and they'll be happy to they don't have a lot of incentive to say like you should you could figure out some better. That's what's my theory. I think that just happens a lot. I'm trying to piece together some stoner theory, but that's kind of what I think about life in general. I haven't totally figured this out. I'm not smart enough to figure this out, but I think that happens in life. I think there's a lot of people just doing their things. Sometimes they're happy to have you like in their little system, but they're never going to tell you like, dude, like there's better systems. There's better. You don't have to just engage with my system. Like you could just invent your own system, or you could like invent a better system. And then like it seems like it's good to set up conditions where you get to do your thing. So like if I'm regularly engaging with anybody, if I have some conditions that allow me to repeatedly do something that I want to do, good. But if I'm stuck in somebody else's system or engagement that does not allow me to do what I want to do for long periods of time, not good. And so that seems to sort of be like jiu-jitsu. It's like if you have a jiu-jitsu mat and both people get to do some moves, they're getting to do their thing. But sometimes I think like if somebody goes to some system, like a job, and they get stuck being the janitor, they're grinding at something every day. They're getting better at janitoring, or they're getting better at something. And it seems like as soon as possible, like eventually life just kind of goes by, and it's like, that was your life. And it seems like a good thing to, as soon as possible, set up conditions where you regularly get to do your thing that you want to do at some level, like a lot for like years. And like then that's kind of like, does that make sense? That's kind of what I think in jiu-jitsu is as soon as possible, set up conditions where somehow you get to do what you want to do repeatedly. So in jiu-jitsu, you have like these different moves. But if you engage with some people who don't let you do that thing, it's good to find like another environment where you can do the thing that you want to do. And I think that goes for like jobs too. I think sometimes people are just like, dude, there was some other job that would have let you do that thing you want to do, but you got to find that. But sometimes you go to some building or some guy who has a system, like a job. I mean, this is a cynical way, but they're happy to have you like stuck in their system. There's an incentive for people that you engage with to just have you be in their system, particularly if it's to their advantage. They're not going to have a lot of incentive for you to say like, you should probably just like find out how to do things on your. There's a way you could do better than me if you just research like how to get around the various problems that would allow you to manifest your will when you engage with me or different people. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's my working theory. I'm like trying to do some like stoner like waxing philosophic thing, but that I feel like that's my idea. Is just that I'll keep thinking about it, but it's not going to really make any sense, and it's kind of like silly. It's probably overly simplistic, but I just think I'll just say this on ChatGPT. When you engage with somebody in jiu-jitsu match, you're kind of like if they have some system they've set up that possibly might enable them to do different things. They sometimes would be happy for you to be stuck in their system if they get to regularly do things that they want to do. But if you want to do things that you want to do, you should probably like research on your own how to get around the various problems that would enable you to do what you want to do. Is that true? Yes or no?
Yes. in a jiu-jitsu match.
And don't you think like everybody's kind of grinding every day? They're grinding something. And so if they grind at other things regularly, they could get better at that thing. And eventually, if they've grinded at various things for like 30 years or 50 years, that eventually sort of becomes their life. So as soon as possible, it seems good to be able to set up conditions where you can grind at what you want to do. And there probably is some people that you can engage with, or job, or even some virtual environment that might allow you to do what you want to do at some level. And that seems like good to do, is like grind away at that thing you want to do for really long periods of time in some whatever level that you can do that at. Is that true, yes or no?
Yes.
All right, so that's my theory. I haven't like figured this out yet, but that's kind of my general theory, is that sometimes people just go to some, like in jiu-jitsu, there's people who go to some guy, whether it's the jiu-jitsu match or whether it's like a job or whether it's like some class. That guy, he's doing his thing. He has his game, and he has his little system, and he probably has an incentive to sort of like keep you in his system somehow. And he's never going to tell you like, dude, you could like get around all of my little things. Like there's all sorts of tricks you could learn on the internet to better be able to manifest your will than anything you're going to get from just dealing with me. But they'll be like, well, you can just keep dealing with me, and that person's getting to do their thing regularly, probably. Maybe they're not also, but if they're doing it, it just seems like what people should do is they should set up conditions or dealings with humans. If it's a human thing, set up conditions where they get to do what they want as much as possible. And like they're kind of always grinding, and if you can just it's probably good to like grind at like stuff you want to do for long periods of time, and as soon as possible to set up conditions that allow you to do that, and to possibly get out of repeated conditions where you're not getting to do what you want. Because there's people who have systems of engagement where they're happy to have you just keep doing engagements that where they get to do what they want, but you might not get to do what you want. And it seems like you should like set up conditions to be able to do what you want. Does that make sense? I don't know if that totally makes sense, but that's my general theory. Is I'm like, dude, people sometimes they just go to some place regularly, and they don't realize that some other guy got to be the guy who does blah blah blah. Like I was thinking about that with jobs yesterday. Is there's people who go to some building where there's all these different jobs. Some person is possibly just stuck being the janitor, and they're like, why do I have to be the janitor? Like, why can't I be the doctor, or why can't I be the what, Sean? The actor, or the boss, or the physical activity director, or something that like they want to do, because it seems like they're grinding at something. And sometimes it seems like maybe even just doing it on your own sometimes, if you can set up conditions to do what you want to do for long periods of time. But it seems like a lot of times people get stuck in other people's systems that don't allow them to do what they want to do, and people have an incentive to like set up systems where they get to do what they want. They're just doing their thing, they're doing their game, they're doing their job or something like that, they're running their business, but it's not to their advantage to tell you like, you know, dude, you could probably find like better systems somewhere that would allow you to do what you want to do better. And so I think that just happens all around the world. Now, I could ask this on ChatGPT. Just like jiu-jitsu, people have their game, they have their system that they're running to enable them to do what they want to do. In terms of jiu-jitsu, they have their like little moves, they get to do what they want to do. And so sometimes if somebody engages with another human, or if they go to some building, or if they go to some job, or if they go to some classroom, that person that they're engaging with is kind of running a system that's kind of like they're doing their game. And if you engage with that person sometimes has an incentive to keep you in their system, and they don't really have a lot of incentive to encourage you to find ways to manifest your will that might include going to other systems or finding other sources besides them to engage with. Is that true? Yes or no? Is that true in jiu-jitsu? Is that true of jobs? Is that true of classrooms, classes that people pay for, stuff like that? Yes or no?
Yes, this concept.
All right, so that's what I see. That's what I was trying to explain yesterday, and that's this idea that I'm like, oh, dude, like that shit fucking happens. And so, what's the point? It's not just some crazy shit. It's fucking like ChatGPT. So this is like some stoner like waxing philosophic theory that I'm boiling on my brain. But I'm like, dude, I think I noticed a pattern in life, and it's not just crazy. ChatGPT has substantiated. I don't know how useful it is for like real life, but I just noticed that, and I'm like, dude, that's fucking weird, man. It's fucking weird. What's the point? I don't know. Maybe it's I haven't figured it out. I'm not really that smart. I'm just probably just some stoner bullshit that I'm. No, there's merit to it. ChatGPT verifies some of it. Anyway, but it could be bullshit. Anyway, sorry for wasting your time. If somebody's watching this, I don't want to waste people's time. I want to offer something useful. If you want to go running regularly, but you don't have the discipline like me, sometimes I don't have the discipline. I've found that running while playing a video game can be kind of fun on my phone. And then I think like there's songs. There's a website called Jog FM, and they have songs that are 88 beats per minute or 90 beats per minute. 88 beats per minute song. If you find like a bunch of your favorite songs that are 88 or 90 beats per minute, you can just kind of run to the beat like an army guy. You can just step to the beat, and it'll kind of do the work for you. Anyway, just okay. All right.